Dio, turf like Elo, got you on your Evo. Long Beach with me, the city in the turf chump. Get turfed up, fucking with the turf pump. I'm geeked up, I'm on my step home. Turn it up, yes, what you here for? I'm going all in. That's what you do, my little nigga jerky. What's up with you? No rapping ass, niggas tapping out. I'm almost 20 years, the fuck you rapping about? My niggas good up, the homies rolling in. I'm all in the club, bro, when it quit. You see a G, you better know the deal. You see the colors, fool? I'm in the street for real. I'm gigging on these hoes, do them like domino. I slam them on their back and tell them vomit up. That's what I heard him say. The 38's the same colors the Chevrolet. 501 zone, gangsters looking good. I'm in the club, home, chucking up the hood. We the West, boy, yeah, you see the shirt. Smoking on that Cody, fucking with that perk. I gotta get her money, baby hella thick. She said her name was Seven, call me Michael Vick. Cause I'm a dog, home, give them the dick and dance. Fuck what you call, folks, if I ain't hit the ass. I'm Snoopy Eagle Dub, I get it poppin' good. And when I'm in the building, they get the poppin' up. They get the spinning cash, screaming T.I.U. Now gon' turn it up, lil' mama look at you. I'm gigging on these hoes, do them like dominoes.